seamless siding now.
Are you tired of seeing your hard-earned money being thrown out the window? Does it seem like your energy bills are constantly rising? ABC Seamless Siding, insulation, and energy-efficient windows can help you lower your energy bills. With ABC Seamless, you can make your home more beautiful on the outside and save money too. As an energy-conscious consumer, I fully endorse ABC Seamless Siding. Call today. They will show you how cost-effective ABC Seamless really is.
This is CNN.
New focus in the debate over the guilt, innocence, and insanity as the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer enters his plea today.
And the legal battle over cigarettes and liability is back before the Supreme Court today. Welcome to NewsHour. I'm Bobbie Battista in Atlanta.
And I'm Reid Collins in Washington. The long-running battle involving a New Jersey family and the tobacco industry is now back before a full Supreme Court. Today, the High Court heard arguments in the case for a second time. At issue here is whether cigarette manufacturers can be sued over claims they misrepresent the dangers of smoking. This case involves Rose Cipollone, a woman who had smoked for 42 years and died of lung cancer in 1984. Her family claims that Cipollone was not initially aware of the dangers of smoking, and they won a $400,000 reward from one jury. But an appeals court overturned this award, and the family took the case eventually to the Supreme Court. After this morning's arguments, both sides were talking.
I think that they're trying to figure out what this law means. Did Congress really intend to give this industry this extraordinary immunity from ordinary rules of conduct that bind the rest of us? And in effect, impunity when it engages in deliberate deception and when it fails to inform people of the fact, as it has certainly failed to do in the past.
I feel very good about the argument, and in my opinion, I was happy to see that the plaintiffs have conceded and agreed with us that state tort claims are preempted, and our only disagreement now seems to be the number and extent of that preemption.
A first round of arguments had been heard back in October when the justices apparently were deadlocked. The newly appointed Justice Clarence Thomas now might cast a tie-breaking vote. Some decision is expected about in July.
The largest maker of silicone gel breast implants reportedly sacrificed safety in a rush to beat the competition. According to reports in today's New York Times and Wall Street Journal, Dow Corning put off certain safety tests on the breast implants for more than a decade. Company documents cited in the reports show other tests on animals were done, but women received the implants before the test results were in. Last week, the Food and Drug Administration urged a temporary ban on the breast implants until their safety can be determined. Accused serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer today changed his plea to guilty, a legal move that would pave the way for him to claim insanity. Dahmer appeared in court in Milwaukee to enter the guilty plea to 15 murders. Under Wisconsin law, a person who pleads insanity must first be convicted of the crime. After that, a second separate phase of the trial decides the sanity question. Dahmer's attorney said during today's hearing that it was his client's decision to plead guilty.
He wishes, therefore, to plead guilty, as I have already stated. Once again, it is my client's sole decision to plead. No promises nor threats have been made to get him to do that. I am prepared even now to go to trial on the guilt phase if Mr. Dahmer so chooses. He does not.
Police say Dahmer confessed to killing 17 young men since 1978. Police discovered the body parts of 11 victims scattered around his apartment. Prosecutors say the change of plea would keep some of the grim evidence in the case from being introduced. If Dahmer is found sane, he faces mandatory life in prison. If he is judged insane, he could request his release from a mental institution after a year, though his release would be highly unlikely. A prostitute suspected of killing 7 men is on trial in Florida. Police say Eileen Wuornos confessed to the murders, but claims she killed the men in self-defense when they became abusive. She went on trial today for the first of those murders. All of the killings took place along Florida highways in 1989 and 1990.
With his popularity sagging in the polls and reviews of his Japanese trip mixed, President Bush hit the campaign trail today. Destination, America's heartland. The president's first stop is Kansas City, Missouri, where he addressed the American Farm Bureau's Federation. This is a group representing some 90% of the nation's farmers. Mr. Bush restated his resolve to erase world trade barriers.
Open markets are the key to our economic future, both for American agriculture and business. And that fight's going to take time, and lots of people will want immediate results. This new world of opportunity isn't going to happen overnight, but I can tell you this, empty-headed rhetoric won't get us there. Hard work, savvy, experienced negotiation, and confidence in ourselves will get us there, proud and strong. We won the Cold War, and we will win the competitive wars.
On his recent trip to Japan, Mr. Bush failed to get the Japanese markets open to U.S. rice imports, and he was rebuffed on Saturday by the European community that refused to lift barriers on the importation of any U.S. foodstuffs. Out on the campaign swing, the president will have more than a lagging economy and criticism of his trade trip with which to contend. There is a new CNN Gallup poll that shows the president's popularity still slipping. 46% said they approved of the president's handling of his job, while 47% said they disapproved. Of his handling of the economy specifically, Mr. Bush scores even lower marks. 73% disapprove of the job he's doing there, and 24% approve. This poll was taken January 3rd through January the 6th.
United Airlines and 3 other defendants have reached an out-of-court settlement in a lawsuit stemming from the crash of United jetliner in Iowa. 112 people were killed when Flight 232 crashed in Sioux City, Iowa in July of 1989. Cameras captured the dramatic crash as the DC-10 cartwheeled near the runway. An attorney for the victims would not reveal the actual amount of the settlement, but said it involved many millions of dollars. The suit was filed by 4 of the 84 survivors and the relatives of 5 victims.
And just ahead on NewsHour, a sign Mideast peace talks are moving, if slowly, ahead. A look back to a year ago today when people around the world were praying for peace as the drums of war were getting louder. Also ahead, as the Soviet Union sank, some sailors were left high and dry, without a homeland really, and half a world away from home. Plus, it is a hot image, but is this a healthy one for, say, teenage girls?